Philadelphia. City of brotherly love, city of neighborhoods. Philadelphia. City of firsts, city of immigrants.
With just over 1.5 million people, Philadelphia ranks as the 6th most populous city in the U.S.
When I decided to come to Philadelphia, it was for school, as is the case with a lot of students.
Swarthmore College. Like to Haverford or to Philadelphia? It was kind of the perfect.
The Philadelphia region boasts over 50 colleges and universities. I knew I wanted to be on some coast, either east or west, not really caring which, not really understanding the differences, other than the fact that one was sunny and dry and one was cloudy and humid. I didn't know Philadelphia was the first U.S. capital. I didn't know it housed the Liberty Bell. I didn't know it was known as the city of brotherly love. What does that even mean? Who counts as a brother?
Truthfully, I came to Philly for Haverford, but one of the reasons I chose Haverford was to get away from home. I live near a big city, Boston, and I love it there. I've always felt grounded in cities, being surrounded by people and activity and movement. But I knew I needed to leave Boston in order to know what else was out there. Where I went for school wasn't important to me, as long as it was somewhere far from home where I could experience something new and different.
I came to Philadelphia for the people and for the lifestyle, a different experience from my own. I wanted to learn from others and connect with a different region. Coming from the South, coming from a smaller town, I wanted a close-knit community that challenged my framework and forced me to reckon with my values. I found Haverford, and I found Philly.
Para poder encontrar un trabajo bien pagado.
To get more opportunities of work and to be with an American dream.
My aunt found work for my parents.
Por un poco de necesidad y por salir adelante y sacar a la familia.
We decided to go into South Philly because we wanted to hear real voices, real people's perspectives.
Without much direction, we wandered 9th Street, at first terrified to talk to anyone, scared of being rejected, and facing backlash. What right did we, as students from the suburbs, have intruding upon this community? Who had invited us?
We saw a bright neon sign, Cannolis. We went in.
So, why did your family come to Philadelphia?
Charlie told us about how his father was from Sicily, his mother, Philadelphia. When we asked what his family brought from Italy, he plainly said,
he was a butcher, and so we cut meat here.
We asked why South Philadelphia. Why did his family settle here?
Well, he wanted the first Italian section that he could find.
In the mid to late 1880s, Italians began to settle in South Philadelphia, specifically 9th Street. They brought themselves, but they also brought their industry, establishing what came to be known as the Italian market, an intersection of economy, culture, and community.
That's beautiful.
We spoke with a woman in a local pasta shop, Toludo's, who told us about how her grandparents came from Italy. She herself had grown up in South Philly all her life, shopping at this very pasta shop all her life. She expressed to us a sense of loss of identity because she was never taught Italian.
That they didn't want to teach me Italian because they wanted me to blend in.
Her family's language was traded in for assimilation.
I just kind of grew up as an Italian American, not like authentic Italian.
Yet she connects with her family through food.
We do a lot of cooking.
After all, we were at a pasta place, surrounded by sauces, olives, and breads.
All of these products are prepared traditionally, in the Italian way.
I have an old-fashioned pizzelle maker too, where it's like a big clamp.
She went on to explain what a pizzelle maker was. In the same way, a Jewish woman might explain how to braid challah, or a Chinese woman might explain how to make dumplings, not necessarily with the intent to teach, but to share.
I have one of those.
Sharing customs with others, the connection that people feel to their cultural identities, is so integral to making someone feel at home. In different ways, both Charlie and the woman in the pasta shop articulated their strong feelings of Italianness, despite not necessarily feeling a tie to immigration itself.
Today, the Italian market isn't so much Italian, as the people are always changing, always coming, and always establishing community. Many immigrant communities make their home here in South Philly, notably Pueblan immigrants from Mexico. We interviewed a man from Adelitas, a restaurant Trico Philly had eaten at earlier in the semester.
I'm from Mexico City. My parents are from Mexico, Puebla, and I'm between those two states, and I love it.
When we asked what pieces of home he brought with him, he said,
Only my memories. I have right now.
He
I have a lot
referenced
of family
traditional
here. I have my
Mexican
father, my
celebrations,
sisters, I have a
like
daughter,
Christmas,
I
La
have
Rosca,
uncle,
New
cousins.
Year's.
I have a lot of family here.
But really, what mattered to him was,
and just being together all the time. It's all about it.
he told us how he felt safe in Philly, how he felt at home. Earlier, we'd spoken to another man from Puebla, a baker.
He told us more about the struggles back at home, the reasons for why he left, as opposed to the reasons for why he came. Push factors, if you will.
En nuestro país no hay lo necesario para sobrevivir. Tenemos que salir a buscar otros lados.
Back in Mexico, he was also a baker. He was eager to show us the different types of breads they made in the store.
Es el producto concha blanca, concha de chocolate, concha de vainilla, concha de fresa, algunos productos más colorados, pambacitos. Tenemos de todo un poco.
besides his trade, the things he brought with him weren't objects, pero...
Más un poco de familia nada más, pero estamos bien.
Further along the street, in Casa Mexico, we encountered a Spanish immigrant. When asked why Philly, he revealed his original intent wasn't to stay here.
Mi idea no era venir a Filadelfia, era llegar a New York, vine vía Orlando, pero lo más económico era llegar a Filadelfia y cuando llegué me gustó y ya me quedé aquí.
Even though he himself isn't Latin American, he told us about how he felt connected to the Latinx community here. He feels
Integrado al 100%.
We couldn't come to South Philly without stopping at Fonte's. Last time we were here, for the Dia de los Muertos parade, I peered around the shop too scared to approach the owner. But this time, we would talk to her, and we did.
Having been here since 1964, she's watched the market evolve. She's seen people come and go. She told us about...
It's a Greek community. There were quite a few Greeks. There were always Jewish people, and they stayed mostly south of Washington. They had clothing stores. Italians did food, and there were a smattering of other communities.
She shared with us her personal insights on the immigrant experience.
In what you were in your country, you bring it to this new country. And as you assimilate into the community, then you don't feel this strong need anymore.
The strong need for reminders from your old home.
especially when you have a strong community in your new home.
This area in particular, we all know each other. If we don't know their names, we know each other by sight. And it's such, if I ever need anything, I could just shout across the street and I know that Charlie or one of the guys will come. There's such a sense of strong community. This is really wonderful.
But food is a different story.
You probably all know. It stays with us. Like at Christmas, you make pizzelles. Because that was a tradition in Italy. So a lot of the old traditions stay. It's a comfort. So, yeah.
Let me see the pizzelle. There are like all of these.
Oh,
These are
it's beautiful. Yeah.
She even told us how she brought her school books across the ocean years ago.
I brought all my books, my Italian school books. Why? No clue. I still have them. I'm 71 years old and I still have my Italian. Yeah, well, that's still, again, a comfort.
Whether it be in food, or people, or books you bring with you, pieces of home always follow. When they become a part of the new home we're forced to make for ourselves, this is the process of homemaking.
When in South Philly, we intentionally didn't ask anybody's name. We only knew Charlie's because we'd gone into the back section of the store, where we asked to interview a different man. He told us, "You're looking for Charlie," so we went looking for Charlie. Otherwise, names didn't really matter. Somehow, between us, a random group of college students, and these people, residents of South Philly, we came to know a piece of them through their stories. Their culture, their customs, no names needed.
When we spoke with students at our respective campuses, we heard similar stories about homemaking. A friend mentioned that a lot of what she brought was in her kitchen to remake the feelings and sentiments of home.
I have like a butter crock. It like keeps butter fresh. That's like something I grew up with. I know that's silly, but
As migrants, students come to the schools, leaving their hometowns to study in a new place. Traditionally, once they arrive, they make a new home for 4 years. Hearing these stories from individuals in South Philly and stories from our peers led us to understand that homemaking is universal. These feelings are experienced regardless of motives for movement.
Thinking back on our interviews, I find myself reflecting on how I've made Philly home for myself. I miss the food my mother would make for me, so instead I now make it for myself. It's hard to do without traditional Peruvian ingredients, but something so simple that I miss is Inca Kola, a golden soda from Peru. This whole semester I've been on a journey to find it, asking each Latin American shop I go into where I can find Peruvian products. But as I filmed through different Philly neighborhoods, I saw one small shop in North Philly that might have what I wanted. Christian Express, Productos Ecuatorianos. Close enough, I thought. And it was. There they were, the cans of Inca Kola lined up in the fridge. My Ecuadorian friend who was with me was beyond ecstatic to find so many products that made her feel at home. We knew there were people like us here. We could make home here. I think about how comforting that is, to see a street of restaurants with menus familiar to you. Adelitas, the bakery, Casa Mexico, Toludo's, even Canuli's. Food and home are inseparable. Homemaking is universal.